there are blues. PRiNCe had a song, the R&B singer PRiNCe. He had a song called "The Beautiful Ones," and the beautiful ones. He said, "The beautiful ones who will hurt you." Actually, the beautiful ones will hurt you every time. Blue people are beautiful, you know. It's like I don't think they know it though. They don't know it because they live based upon how you see them. But a blue person was hurt by one person. You know, there was one person that hurt them. They invested their emotions in it. The emotions in the sense that there was one person that they wanted to please, one person that they wanted to elicit the emotions from. They wanted, like, yeah, I want to get your emotions. I want to get an emotional. The emotions that I have for you are beyond sex. I want you to love me the way I love you. It's come through spirit, like water. But like, I want you to cry for me the way I cry for you. I want you, when I kiss you, I want you to think I'm mouth watering. Even though, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, they had a lot of love for that one person, and then despite the love they had for that one person, it was not enough, so they end up being blue. But then you have green people who are blue people, former blue people, who realize that the emotional promise, because blues promise other blues, you know what I'm saying, or blues promise if the reds fall sometimes, or, you know, those who are woolly haired, you know, as far as this is like women, I guess, I don't know, you know, some, I don't know, and they'll, and, you know, yeah, you know, and then some men too, and they'll be like, well, you know, there will be emotional reciprocity over here in the blue water that you will not get from those spontaneous red fuckers who just want to fuck spontaneously, you know, genitals. So it's like with the blues, they do foreplay, you know, because their bodies are hurt. You know, dark blue means physical. Dark blue means physical. Dark blue means physical handicap, and light blue means mental handicap. It means your head's in the clouds. You know, you're like, and those whose heads are in the clouds, their satisfaction comes from knowing that their sexual partner was able to make them release the water of the clouds, the rain, like to come. You know what I'm saying? And dark blue with the physical handicap, like the fish body, like saying that they can only move around in the water. They're really, you know, their validation and feelings of self-worth are amplified when they're able to make, dark is sadistic, is heavier. It chooses to satisfy, you know, that dark blue. It wants to satisfy another person. The dark blue, they're satisfied when they make you release your water. They use a little bit of their water from the depths. They drink liquor too, drink like a fishy. They use a little bit of their water to bring a lot of your water, and they feel like, wow, I got a lot for a little, and it makes them feel like, wow, I got it going on. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to get a response. They want to be the reason for your motivation. But then green people are basically like people that were like, I used to be blue because, you know, a blue person told me that, you know, we were gonna emotionally balance each other out. And then it didn't work, so they gave up on the emotional reciprocity, knowing like it's a sham, that they're not going to love me. The blue person is not going to give me more emotion than the red person, so they go back towards red people, but not for the same reason. They go for the physicality of it. They usually end up losing like hair, you know, whatever, and they end up being green. And it's like, you know, the grass will eat you. So they will basically, like, as far as like, you know, dark green, you know, they come out of the water on the sands of the beach, and they're yellow, and so they're like, yo, they want to be. They're like devoured, you know what I'm saying? They're like, you know, light is on top, so like it's like, you know, but they realize that when they're devoured, they realize like, okay, well, you know, whatever, however I was devoured, that's how I can devour another. Like they find out what they like about being devoured, and then I guess the word says, I don't know. They find out what they like about being devoured, and then they give it to other people. But a lot of times people have sex. They have sex. When you get older, in my age, women don't want to have sex with you for your emotions or that. They want to have, you know, physicality or whatever. They have sex because they feel like, you know, your sperm cells are like stem cells. It grows their hair back. It grows their hair back. It makes them feel good. It's like like the movie I Come in Peace, where he was like, you know, it's a drug. So yeah, but like a pastor is a person who can walk past the whores. Pastor, he walked right past them, you know. And a lot of times, you know, women don't realize, like I say, some women end up, you know, wearing makeup and stuff. They don't realize. They think that, you know, it's like, you know, folks think, well, you know, they're wearing makeup because they're trying to make themselves look good to the world. No, they're trying to hide themselves from themselves. People wear makeup because they ended up investing some level of trust to the point of having sex with somebody who made them feel like, you know what, I should have just remained abstinent. I should never had sex with them. And they wear makeup to hide themselves from their mind, to hide themselves from their own cognizance, to hide themselves from the part of them that knew that how they feel after trusting that person to have sex with them, or to even trust, you know what I'm saying? It's usually physical, because makeup is physical. So there's not an emotional thing that occurred, there was a physical thing. And so they end up hiding themselves from themselves, like saying that, yeah, I know who I was, you know, when I did what I did, but when I look in the mirror, I don't want to see that person. Because people that wear makeup, you have to have a mirror to put on makeup. So when they're putting the makeup on, they know that when they go to check on the makeup to make sure it's okay, they don't want to see the person that made the mistake to trust a person where the physical, whatever happened, it could have been drugs, it could have been sex, could have been a combination. They don't want to see any of that. And it's almost like sometimes people can use your beauty to get drugs, like saying that, like, when I got this pretty woman, I'm gonna go through the drug dealer and I'm gonna be like, yo, you know what I'm saying, I'm with her. And then they think, well, dang, you know, sometimes the drug dealer will be like, you know what, they'll be like, yo, I just want to give you what you want, just so folk can be like, yo, I'm cool with you by association. Before it ends up being where, you know, like, you know, people end up selling their bodies and stuff, be like, yo, you know, and then be like, yo, you can sleep with my woman, and, you know, you give us both drugs to use, and until it gets to a certain point where it's like, well, you know what, she's not as attractive as she used to be, so you're not gonna really get anything, you know, drugs from being with her. Nobody really, you know, so, you know what I'm saying? So, but like I say though, the pastor is the one who can walk past, you know, the whores. He's like, I'm past them whores. Like, yes, the right pastor, see them women and keep on going. You know, you can look, you know, but the Bible's, and I realize too, like with certain people, when I hate to say it, but when they have handicaps, you can be linked to a person. I've been around certain people that are hurt, and I'm like, I'll start hurting, get phantom pains. Like, oh, wow. But that means that person trusts you, I think. I think they trust you enough to, you know, be like, well, you know what, I can be weak around them. Because blue people who are handicapped, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to be weak around people. They don't show any weakness. And they will attack you first. Like, when I'm out walking and people try to walk into me, I'm like, that person knows what their handicap is, and they're like, you ain't gonna look at me and think I'm weak. I'll preemptively be the first one to, you know what I'm saying? I'll preemptively be the first one to let you know, like, I ain't taking no shit. And I'm like, and they're feisty. A lot of blue people are feisty, but also realize that, like I say, the red people, they all fall to blue. If you're an older person, like past your 40s, 50s, you're not red. You may be dark red. You know what I'm saying? But you're not red. You know what I'm saying? No one is in this. Even if you don't, well, maybe you don't have any kids. But if you don't have any kids, then I'm like, why don't you have any kids? I'm like, are you a nun, or are you, you know? And then Bluetooth is also like, it also means like, you know, that person is like, they probably have had a you know, a STD or whatever. And like I say, man. Yo, I'm telling you, and people say, well, you know, when you get STD, you know, it can make you sad, and, you know, but there's ways back from it, which I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not there yet. I'm, you know, and it comes from just, you know, being, and I've only had I can count. Let me see, I can count all the women I've had sex with on one hand. Let me see. Yep, I'm at 5 people right now. I've had sex with 5 people in my life, and I haven't gone past that. So yeah, that's where I'm at, you know, with that. So I guess it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild for me, you know, in the sense that I mean, I'm like, yo, the 40-something-year-old virgin.